Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sports Den, the very first Sports Den of 2026. I'm Ted LeBrew alongside Matt Dean. We're getting you caught up on everything that happened over the holidays. Our last show here on Sports Den was December 22nd, so everything since then, we're getting you all up to date for Blaine Bengals, Centennial Cougars, Spring Lake Park athletics right now. And Matt, one of the teams that really stands out as one of our best area teams is Centennial Spring Lake Park girls hockey. Kind of Death Taxes CSLP girls hockey is kind of at the top of the state and doing their thing.
They really are. We remember we covered them in a section final a couple of years ago, had that disappointing loss to Maple Grove, huge comeback in Roseville for the Crimson. Well, they got back on track last year, took it a step further, back to the state tournament. They were upset in that quarterfinal round. Yep. There's still a lot of talent on this Centennial Spring Lake Park team. They're offensive-minded, and this winter sports season's got a feel of the fall. We had two pretty special teams kind of rise to the top, I would say, in Centennial volleyball and, of course, Spring Lake Park football. Yep. We've got a couple of very special teams, and I think one of the ones headlining the show right now is that second-ranked Centennial Spring Lake Park girls hockey team. They got a case to be the best team in the state right now. Mm-hmm. We'll get into the highlights because we had a chance to cover them last week, Tuesday, in a rivalry cat clash against the Blaine Bengals. So we'll roll the tape here from this past Tuesday. CSLP, first game of the new year. They've won 8 of their last 9. Blaine headed in the other direction a little bit. They've dropped 5 of the last 6. We pick up the action less than 5 minutes into the first. A power play for the Bengals and sophomore Madison Orlett making a save. Caden Larson really good between the pipes for Blaine. She had a lot to do. It took a rebound to beat her. Freshman Avery Wagner scoring her 10th of the year on the scramble out front. It was 1-0 Cougars, 9:28 into the contest. Wagner got a greasy goal for her first. This was clean. Splits 2 defenders, a top shelf beauty for her second of the game. Her second career 2-goal game for the freshman Wagner, 2-0 end to 1. Just less than 6 minutes gone into the second, 3-0 Cougars. You blinked and you missed the rocket off of Josie Kelsenberg's stick. Later in the period, Melanie Reff with a drive from the point. It was picked up by Katie Ball, the senior wearing number 7 with her 7th of the year, and it's 4-0. And in the waning moments of the frame, Kelsenberg off a such feed gets her 2nd of the game, 8th of the year. Kelsenberg would score again in that line of such. Wagner and Kelsenberg account for 5
What's
of the
it like playing a Blaine team where you know like half the team and it's a local rival? Does that make it a little more fun?
Yeah, for sure makes it more fun. I mean, we used to be Blaine Spring Lake Park, that co-op, so knowing all these girls and then obviously splitting to Centennial, like the rivalry's still there. We always want to beat each other and it's super fun to play in.
Key is this line in this team that I'm on. Honestly, I give all the credit to these two. I love playing with them. I love this team, and yeah.
Why is this team peaking right now as the year turns to 2026?
You know, I think we're ramping up into sections, we're ramping up into where we want to be, and just overall, I think it's time that we start to make our point, we start to prove our space, and we show that we really do deserve to be here.
A well-deserved shining of the Sports Den spotlight on those girls right there. These top 5 Centennial Spring Lake Park forwards have just been scoring at an unbelievable clip so far, Matt. And you see some of the numbers on screen. We'll dive a little bit more in depth. But, you know, not only do you have kind of some of the top goal scorers and assists at the top on the top line, but it kind of bleeds over to the second line as well.
I mean, that line that shined the other night last Tuesday, you know, Coach Moline, he doesn't like to put numbers on the lines, but that's effectively the second line for the Cougars. Elena Ganetz, who's had an unbelievable season right now, is not in the lineup for the Cougars. She'll be out for another about a week and a half as she's playing for Team USA at the U18 World Championships in Nova Scotia. Shout out to Ganetz, a UMD commit. She just scored yesterday against Czechia. It's an offense. Those goal totals, that's just the top 5 scorers that we have listed. That's enough for an entire team this year. And the Cougars as a whole, 3rd in the Class AA in the state with a 5.95 goals per game average. Ganetz is top 10 in the state in points. She's 2 goals shy of hitting 30 on the season. Mia Such was a 30-goal scorer last year. She's top 15 in the state in points. And Grace Lager, who has been a 20-goal scorer already a couple of times in her Cougar career. She's playing with so much talent on the ice. She's been happy to be more of the assist setup player. She's got 25 assists, which is top 10 in the state. So you got so much scoring talent on the ice. This is maybe the deepest team in the state in Centennial Spring Lake Park, and a couple of college commits, Elena Ganetz, Grace Lager, among the scoring leaders. Plus, you've got Maddie Wolter, who's a D1 commit, and she's not listed because he's like 6th or 7th on the team in scoring. So you just got an unbelievable groundswell of talent right here in the North Burbs at CSLP.
And that depth is certainly going to help you when you get to the postseason. And now that we're like 3/4 of the way through the season, you got to start looking at the section standings and how things are going to kind of play out right now. Centennial Spring Lake Park is sitting right there as the number 1 seed in their section right now. We talked about death taxes. How about death taxes? CSLP the 1, Maple Grove the 2, or something. Those two kind of interchanging. They've always been at the top here for the last year.
Yeah, I mean that's who you expect to see in the section final just about every year. Those 2 teams at the top. Cougars lost to the Crimson, we mentioned in the section title game a couple of years ago, got their revenge last season. Since losing to Maple Grove 2 seasons ago, they've won 15 straight section games, and they'll have 1 more remaining on the schedule we'll get to a bit later. Over in 7AA, it's a key time of the year for Blaine. They're trying to fight for home ice in the first round of the section playoffs. Right now by the QRF, they sit in about the 5 position. It's decided on a coach's vote, but Blaine wants to build their resume a little bit with some key section games coming up as they fight for that home ice playoff spot. Looking at those upcoming schedules, Centennial Spring Lake Park on the right, they've got 1 final section game coming up. That's Tuesday on the road at Rogers coming up tomorrow. We've mentioned CSLP, 2 losses, 1 tie this year. They've lost twice to Holy Family, but beat the number 1 ranked Fire in the last matchup over the holidays at the Walser Invite. They're going to play Holy Family for a 4th time this year, Ted, and I would not be surprised to see a 5th meeting at some point, maybe at a potential state tournament later in the year. That's number 1 and number 2 in the state. Coming up in 7AA, the Bengals, they've got 2 key section games left. One of them's tomorrow against Osseo Park Center. The other is the one you see January 20th against Rogers. Bengals trying to break out of a 3-game skid as they host the Orioles on Tuesday. Also a big game coming up on Friday when they host last year's Class A state champions in Dodge County.
What do we say we shift it to the boys' side? Some boys' puck right now. Let's hit that rewind button and go back to December 22nd. Why don't we, as the boys get started here? Bloomington Jefferson visiting Spring Lake Park. Coon Rapids before the holidays. Early first is where we start. 2-on-1 off the turnover. Cole Carlson denied by the blocker of Owen Matthews. Mid-first now, Caden Larson just trickles it past the goaltender. That's all you need. Beginning of a great day for him. 2-0 Jags. SLPCR on the power play. An absolute clinic of offensive zone passing here. Jackson Barsness with the finish, top opposite corner. You got to give it up if you want to get it back. The deficit cut in half. 2 minutes to go now in the first period. Jacob Basney, keep it in the zone, getting that glove up, and how about just get it on net? Good things happen. 3-1 Jefferson at the end of 1. Couple of minutes into the second, Aiden Armagast, nice feed to Adam Kish, but he can't quite bury it. Net comes loose in the process to force the whistle. Good things happen on the rush. Cole Peterson gets it started. Mason Van Brunt cleans it up for one of his 3 goals on the night. 3-goal lead for the Cats from down south. Another offensive zone chance for SLPCR. Happy feed here from Matthews. Jars the net loose once again. 5-1 in the third period. Van Brunt, one of his 2 assists, 5 total points on the night. Larson also had a hat trick. He's on the scoring end here. The hat trick connection. 6-1 Baby Blues. 7-1 now. It's the declaration because it's all Jefferson. Van Brunt snipes to the upper corner. 8-1, handing the loss to SLPCR. And the Panthers had lost 3 in a row coming into the Jefferson game. Since then, they lost 4 in a row after that, but they bucked the trend and bucked that 8-game losing streak with a win on Saturday against Irondale. Centennial and Blaine just above 500. The Cougars sitting there at 8-6-0. The Bengals at 7-5-1 respectively. Big Cat Clash coming up on Thursday night between those two teams. North Metro TV will be on hand. We've got all kinds of Blaine Centennial Cat Clashes on that night. More on that a little bit later on in the program. Cougars sitting up there tied with Elk River Zimmerman atop the conference with 10 points apiece. And Matt, now as we shift from the ice to the hardwood, we talked about at the beginning of the show that great team that was Centennial Spring Lake Park girls hockey. Maybe the next best team in our area is Blaine boys basketball. We've got 3 highlights here coming up for Blaine and what they've done from before the holidays through after the holidays. They had a 6-0 record coming in, and they were one of the hottest teams in the area, in the conference, kind of coming into that stretch.
It's been unprecedented. We haven't seen this from Blaine boys basketball. They've been really fun to watch. Yep. They're still playing with a lot of that pace. Use the athletes they have, some good shooters on the floor, but it's been a really nice to see the Bengals be very committed on the defensive end to back that up. So as you said, we had a chance to cover them just before the holiday break. We're going to take you way back to 3 weeks ago. 2 days before Christmas, a Cat Clash in North Metro TV was there. Blaine 6-0 at the time, trying to continue the undefeated start to the season and take on Spring Lake Park. Nolan Roach would splash down from the right wing to push the Panthers out to that 7-0 run on top of Blaine. Bengals broke the drought, but Cal Spencer, the junior, with a corner 3, pushed it to an 8-point swing less than 4 minutes in. Shiloh Aite says good day. You're going to hear his name a ton on the rest of Sports Den today. Owen Clark providing some offense with this triple, the point guard with his lone bucket on the day. It started to become a one-man show. Aite with the transition score, and he would hit a step-back 3 on the next play. The senior, who had come in averaging just shy of 20 a game, had 18 of Blaine's 26 at the break. Bengals led by 5. Jacob DePoint's hustle, always on point for SLP. His lone 2 points there. Aiden Lowry winning the race down the floor. A pump fake to tie it at 39 all. 7 minutes to go. Nolan Myron, leading scorer for the Panthers, had 20 in this one. The Bemidji State commit up the floor in a hurry. Lowry would connect in a game-tying triple down the stretch, about 5:30 to go, and we're tied. Aite ahead of his own bench, hitting an answer 3, and that's got to feel good with your teammates at your back. And Shiloh saying, oh, let me just scoot right past you. Blaine leading by 7 after that bucket. Cal Spencer got to double figures with this 3-point shot, and the Panthers were down just 1 with a minute to go. Aite would hit his free throws down the stretch, finished with a career-high 40 of Blaine's 57 in the win.
It was a great game. We started pretty slow at the start, and then we started to pick it up. And then some of my points led us to win us the game. So we played pretty good. A lot of bad things happened, but we got it out with a win. So.
My thought to you is this. I'm wondering if this is sort of like a senior sort of alpha scorer kind of thing where you notice that guys are struggling, they're off to slow starts. Do you think to yourself, I gotta do this. I gotta will it. I gotta get more shots. I gotta get more looks. Do you think about that, or is it just the flow of the offense?
No, I kind of just flow through offense. I'm more experienced than a lot of the other players, 4 years here, so I know what's going to happen most of the time, and I kind of just play and flow within the offense.
Blaine's next game was 1 week later, December 30th. Bengals looking to keep it rolling, traveling to White Bear Lake. Tula Gemta starts things off, scratching the defense, gives the Blaine the early lead from downtown. Bears plus 3 now. How about the kick out to Owen Clark this time for the trifecta? Ties it up at 8. Bears working in transition here. Jonathan Woods, the lob. Colin Piper, 2 of his 21 on the finish. Bengals looking to claw back, down 7. Gemta splashes it from outside. Bears creating points with defense. Piper the theft and the deposit with the two-handed slam of the dunk. Shiloh Aite, man, he commands a lot of attention. And here's the double team. Nice dish off of it. Clark waiting his turn, cuts the deficit to 5. You'll always find a Bear deep in the woods. Jonathan Woods from deep. It's a 10-point lead for White Bear Lake. Bengals on the prowl, down 4 after a 6-0 run. How about we make it 9-0 for good measure? Gavin Olson from downtown. Second half, Bears plus 3. How about this touchdown pass to Will McQuay, finishing for 2 after the goaltend. Classes in session with Mr. Clark taking the wormhole to a 2-point game. Bengals down 3, continuing to chase. Gemta draws even. It's 45 all after this corner 3. The run continues now. 4-point lead. Olson pushes it to 7 with just over 9 to go in the second half. All Bengals in the aforementioned second half. Now a 12-point cushion. McQuay takes the lid off the basket for just a moment. He finished with 14. Gemta takes advantage of the miscommunication on the inbound, puts the punctuation on the second half surge. Bengals take it 76-61.
After winning that White Bear Lake Holiday Tournament, they beat Rogers, the Bengals did, to begin the new year, so they came in 10-0 in a matchup with 8-2 Osseo from this past Thursday. Can somebody run a chat GPT query for me and give me a few more ways to say Shiloh Aite scores? A jumper from the foul line got it started for Blaine. Junior Joel Sa, leading scorer for the Orioles, 2 of his 20 there. Henry Siemens reminding us, for Blaine, it's more than a one-man show. It was the start of a big night for the sophomore. Siemens answered the call from downtown, the first of his 3 trays on the day. A little dose of Aite. He's had at least 12 points in every game of this run for the Bengals. Great team ball here. Gavin Olson finding Owen Clark for the trailer 3. Aite right down Highway 65. Pick me up some Culvers when you're on your way down there, Shiloh. Olson showing the post moves are alive and well in Blaine. 2 of his 10. He was one of 5 Bengals to get the double figures. Quatama Silikpo slithers his way to the rim for Osseo, and then Quincy Johnson with an and one. 3 upperclassmen led the way with double-figure scoring for the Orioles. Aite with another bucket and a holiday dish to pass here. A high-scoring first half. Blaine led 45-37 at the break. Tula Gimta calling Felix the Cat, getting into his bag of tricks there. The Orioles kept this, though, at single digits for most of the night and would not go away. When Aite found himself in traffic, he was happy to kick out and find the sophomore Siemens. A 3-pointer by Trey Schaefer cut it to a 5-point game. 13.5 minutes to go. The Orioles continued to heat up from downtown. Daniel Hattlestead hit 2 threes and got hot with his back-to-back triples, the second of which cut it to a 2-point game, 8:30 to go. Gimta with another tough finish around the tin. Sa and the Orioles keep hitting their threes in the second half. Orioles were 7 of 22. Blaine were 6 of 21. This didn't factor into that total, but it's as good as a 3-pointer. Aite and 1. DeRoyce Mills with a crucial triple off the bench. That gave Blaine a 9-point cushion with 5 minutes to go. But Owen Counts, another guy coming off the bench, back-to-back triples for Osseo. That made it 77-76, 2 minutes to go, but both teams fill it up. Siemens gets a career-high 28, Aite a measly 14, heavy air quotes, in the 89-82 win.
And Matt, this Blaine team, we started this highlight, they're 6-0, and they come out of it with 5 consecutive wins on top of those 6 consecutive wins to start the season. An impressive 11-0 start. You know, not only, you've got Shiloh Aite here pictured on the graphic, Henry Siemens, those are your top 2 scorers. They're doing it offensively, but man, have they gotten better since Bernie Ward has taken over on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we saw it in year 1 last year with Coach Ward. The team had talent, had scoring ability. We saw them just kind of buy into more of a defensive commitment, just all 5 on the floor right from the start. Now you get into year number 2. You know what Coach Ward expects a little more. Guys know their roles a little bit better. A lot of returners from last year's squad. And they were 6-0 going to that game 2 days before Christmas. We rolled the highlights up. That was already the best start for Bengal basketball in at least the last 25 years. They've gotten out to a great start against section opponents, setting them up well for the 1 seed, although there will be still a lot of section rematches coming up here in the second half. And Blaine has been able to score. We're able to do it before Coach Ward got here. You see, that's continued. What's really been impressive, the defensive improvements each of the first 2 years under Coach Ward, giving up fewer than 60 points per game this year, a better than a 15-point improvement from the per-game averages on defense last year. Pretty impressive.
And when you start 11-0, yeah, there's probably a pretty good chance you're going to be at the top of the Northwest Suburban Conference standings. 11-0 overall record, 8-0 right now in the conference. They played a lot more conference games than anybody else. Anoka has played 6. So Blaine's kind of off to a little bit of a heavy start in terms of that. But, they're sitting up there in Spring Lake Park. They've won 8 out of their first 11 thus far this season.
Yeah, good start for SLP. Since we covered them in the highlights you saw, they lost to Blaine just before Christmas. They've won 5 in a row to get them to 8-3. Andover on Tuesday, a section meeting coming up. Always a big one. Park Center coming to town on Thursday night in Spring Lake Park. And I think biggest thing for Spring Lake Park, Nolan Myron, fantastic player. He's going to Bemidji State, already committed as a junior. They've been looking for a more consistent second scorer. I think Cal Spencer is starting to do that. 15 points a game. He's bumped his average up lately. Spring Lake Park's just got a lot of good, scrappy athletes. A lot of those football players, I think their bench is going to get a little bit deeper as some of those football guys start to come back here from some injuries from the fall in the second half. Centennial, they did snap out of a 7-game losing skid recently with a win Friday against Elk River. They followed that up by losing on the road at Woodbury. They're 2-9 overall in the season. Tuesday, they'll face Coon Rapids. And after that, back-to-back key section games. If Blaine beats Coon Rapids coming up tomorrow, that could be Centennial, a rival, trying to spoil what would be a 12-0 start to the season. Should be pretty fun later this week.
Thursday, Super Cat Clash. Not only do we have it on the hockey side of thing, boys basketball, and we're going to be talking about girls basketball in just a moment, but how about we talk about girls basketball right now? Some Cat Clash action from Festivus, the airing of grievances here between Spring Lake Park and Blaine on December 23rd. Layla Banky, let's start things off with her. She can't connect from downtown on SLP's second time down, but Jalen Bercy Dixon cleans it up 4-0 SLP. Marley Jansen gives Blaine the lead with a 3. She hit 3 from downtown, 5-4 Blaine. Panthers +3, under 7 to the half, Amelia Ritchie. 3-ball corner pocket, all square at 15 apiece. Jansen working the other side in the corner to put the Bengals up 18-15. They take a break from the 3-ball. How about taking advantage of the turnover? Rosie Rakuki a steal and score. Stretch the lead to 7. Kaden Alstrip only had 1 bucket all night. It was a pretty nice one here late in the first. Bengals +10. Panthers looking to step up. That's a nice dish from Bercy Dixon here to cut it to 8. Under a minute and a half, Anna Smolich makes the decision. I'm just going to take this one myself. Well, Rakuki again, another pick 6, taking it to the house. Blaine leads back to 10. And if 10 wasn't enough, how about the next 2 time down? Yeah, I'll take a 3 here, and then I'll take a 3 here. It's raining threes in the Bengals' end. Up 14, SLP flashing their defense as well. Annie Wright shoots the gap, takes it back the other way. Bengals wouldn't cool down from outside. Alexis Earhart getting in on the fun. Bercy Dixon just trying to keep the Panthers within striking distance. Gets it down to a single-digit game, but Jansen, the splash from the right wing, gets it back to double digits. Brianna Cummings from almost the same spot. Blaine hit 11 threes in this game. Their defense pretty good too, forcing 24 Spring Lake Park turnovers. The lead got as high as 19. A strong second half propelled Blaine to a 61-43 win. Happy Festivus. And we look at what's been going on since then. It's been a good time to be a fan of Bengal hoops. Just like the boys, Blaine girls sit at the top of the Northwest Suburban Conference right now. Winners of 6 of their last 8 games. Spring Lake Park has won 4 of their first 5 conference contests. They started off hot with a 7-0 record, but they've lost 4 of their last 6 games, trying to get back on the right track here in 2026. They're going on the road for a pair of battles to Andover and Park Center coming up here. And, the big Cat Clash on Thursday. We finish up girls basketball, and it's always section implications. These two always match up in the semifinals. Championship a few years back. Cougars looking to get it going, having lost 3 of their last 4 games. What more could you ask for, Matt, on Thursday? Hockey, boys basketball, and girls basketball. There are not enough camera people in this area maybe to get all of that content.
We'll try our best.
We're going to try our best.
We will try our best. One more note, too, on Blaine boys basketball. The coaches in the state have finally stopped sleeping on the Bengals. They are up to 8 for what it's worth in the Coaches Association poll. So I was refreshing, the Minnesota Basketball Coaches Association Twitter account when I was writing my notes earlier this afternoon. Class 4A didn't quite come out, but hot off the presses, Blaine are up to 8 in Class 4A in the state top 10. So that'll be fun. As you mentioned, good girls basketball matchup. It seems like that's going to be pretty even this year between Blaine and Centennial. Should be fun. All kinds of cat clashes coming down the pipe here this week on North Metro TV. Stick around for that. And if you can't catch all of it, we'll catch you all up on it coming up next week, a week from today on Monday, right back here on Sports Den. Our thanks to our entire crew here in Blaine, Minnesota, led by Charles Brolin. That's Ted LaRue. I'm Matt Dean. We're signing out here on another edition of Sports Den.